Ah, shit. Here we go again.
This prison story right here is about this white cat by the name of Andy from Cincinnati, Ohio. Before we go on with this story, y'all already know what time it is. I need everybody to hit the like button and let me know where y'all from in the comment section. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people from Texas in the comment section. So shout out to Texas, shout out to Atlanta, and shout out to everybody that's in Michigan. Them are the three most people that I'll be seeing in the comment section. So let me know where y'all from in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button. So let's get to this prison story. So I met Andy in the bullpen. Now, for those that don't know what the bullpen is basically the first stop. Well, no, it's not the first stop. It's part of the last part of the process when you get to the county jail. So let me give y'all a quick rundown. So when you get arrested, you get put in handcuffs, you get transported to the county jail. As soon as you hit the county jail, you know, the police officer, they got to check their gun in, right? And then they come get you and they bring you through processing. So the first part that they bring you to, now I don't know if they do this at all county jails, but y'all let me know in the comment section, right? But the first thing they do, they bring you to a room where there's 2 male guards at for the men and maybe 2 female guards for the women. And they make you pull down your pants and pull down your drawers if you got any on, bend over, squat, and cough, right? They do that to make sure you ain't keistering something or boof something in your butt, right? Like drugs or a knife, or I even heard that somebody put a gun up there. But hey, to each his own, right? So anyway, after that humiliation ritual, you go sit down in this chair, wait for your name to get called, and a lady or a man, they do your intake. Now, intake is basically, they ask you questions like, do you feel like you're going to hurt yourself? Are you depressed? Do you take any medications? Do you got beef? All that, right? They want to know everything about you, right? Even though they really don't give a dang. But anyway, after that, that's when you go get put in the bullpen. Now, if you are a unruly person, you might don't get put in the bullpen. You might get put in an isolation tank. And also with this isolation tank, a part of that intake, if you tell them that you feel like hurting yourself or you acting crazy, or you don't do that strip search or whatever, when you bend over and cough, oh, they'll get you. They're going to get you right, and they're going to get you tight, right? And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. They going to beat you down, strip you butt-ass naked, and they going to put you in this Bam Bam suit. Some call it the turtle suit because it's green, but most people call it the Bam Bam suit, right? Y'all let me know in the comment section for all you jailbirds that been in the Bam Bam suit, what they call it, where y'all from. And they put you in here butt naked in this Bam Bam suit in this cold room, right? And they leave you in there for hours till you calm down, sober up, or till they feel like coming to get you, right? But nevertheless, if you a normal person, and ain't really nothing normal about this, they'll take you to the bullpen. Now, this is where the story starts at. So Donta is in the bullpen. I'm in the bullpen for 3 days. Now, normally the bullpen can hold maybe 30 men in there max, right? But on a Friday or Saturday night, you can forget it. You can forget it. That's out. You talking about 50, 60, 70 guys that can get crammed up in here. Now, I ended up in here because, you know, I just couldn't walk away. You know what I'm saying? Me and the homies was out at this bar. I was talking to this chick, and, you know, she was feeling me. You know, she was rubbing all over me, and, you know, she was feeling me. And I guess her boyfriend came in there and he wasn't feeling that. Now, me in them days, you know, I just felt like, hey, man, if this your chick and she choosing me, hey, take that up with her. Don't take that up with me. But at the same time, you ain't gonna disrespect her while I'm sitting right here, especially when she feeling me. You know what I mean? Now I know we in 2025, and you busters out there gonna be like, oh, Donta simping. Donta was simping. Hey, listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm a gentleman first. I'm a man, number one. Number two, I'm a gentleman. So, hey, miss me with all that old Donta simping. So anyway, the girl looking at me, and she feeling me. We nose to nose at this point, right? We ain't kissing because I don't do that. Y'all can, that's out. I don't kiss at all. I kiss my wife now, but I don't do all that kiss, especially back then. Ew. But anyway, he rolled up on me. He grabbed her by her wrist, grabbed her, and this chick was like maybe 5'3", 5'4". Maybe 110, maybe 15, right? Something I could pick up, frog style. Anyway, but he grabbed her, snatched her up, and I'm like, hold on, player. He said, man, chill, this my B. And she like, let me go. So, I grab him, right? And one of his homeboys pushed me, and I end up grabbing a bottle, and bam, right? It was a Smirnoff bottle right there on the table. So I grabbed that bottle, was like, bow, bust homeboy upside his head, and we all got the rumbling in there, right? What I did not know, see, I thought that it was maybe like 5 security guards, just regular security, but no, y'all gotta understand, man, there was off-duty police up in there, and there was on-duty police outside too, they homeboys. So you know what I'm saying? So as we're in there fighting, the police actually is up in there, and unfortunately, Donta get carted off to the county jail. That's how I ended up in the county jail. So here I go, went through the humiliation ritual or whatever, and now I'm in the bullpen. Here comes Andy, white boy Andy. Now, white boy Andy was from Cincinnati, Ohio. You see, when I used to live in Columbus, Ohio, I used to work at this place called the Gap Distribution Center, right? If you're from Columbus, Ohio, if you know, Groveport, Ohio. That's where all them warehouse jobs is at. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. Matter of fact, shout out to the north side of Columbus, Ohio. I'm talking about off of Morris Road. I'm talking about Cleveland Ave. Shout out to everybody over there. But anyway, there you go. So Andy come up in there, right? And I'm looking at him. I said, Andy, what's up? Andy, he looking, and he said, hey, Donta, what's up, bro? What are you doing here? I said, man, shoot, what you doing here, man? He was like, man, I'm visiting family, and I caught a DUI. I said, oh, okay. He was like, hey, you got any cigarettes? I said, no, man, I don't smoke. He was like, oh, okay. All right, nice to see you. Nice, good to see us. All right, good to see you too, homeboy. I bet. Now, nothing happened, for the next, I'm going to say, week. Nothing eventful actually happened, so I'm just going to skip, right? So they had me in the bullpen for about 3 days till I actually got on the flow, right? And get on the flow is basically they take you out the bullpen and put you basically where you're going to be at until you either bond out, or you get released, or whatever the case is, or or getting shipped off to prison. This right here only did about 20 days in the county for this, what I did. But anyway, so I end up on the flow AB, right? AB flow. So I end up getting up there, bam, boom. And guess who I end up in the cell with? White boy Andy from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I get in the cell with him. I'm like, oh, what's up, Andy? What a coincidence. He like, hey, what's up, bro? I said, you got some cigarettes? He was like, yeah, I got me some cigarettes, man. I got me some cigarettes, but I'll be back, man. I said, all right. So I'm putting my stuff up. I ain't really had that much anyway, because I'm just now getting on the floor. I'm just putting my little toothbrush up, my state toothpaste, my state deodorant. That ain't about nothing, right? I put my stuff up and I pimp out of the cell. Now I'm looking down on everybody on the tier, seeing who all up in here, right? I don't know nobody up here. Yeah, I see a couple of familiar faces, but ain't nobody really standing out. Ain't nobody from my neighborhood or nobody that I knew around town up in here. Like I said, I just see some faces that I maybe seen in passing on the street or whatever, but ain't nobody really standing out. But I do see white boy Andy over there. He talking to this older black dude, right? So it's like the way that he was like, I don't know, man, the way he was standing, it just kind of piqued my curiosity. I'm like, why is he standing there with like his left hand on his hip like that? I'm like, oh, well, man, I don't know. White cats they be kind of weird up here anyway. So I didn't really pay no attention. So I pimped downstairs, whatever, and I go to the control booth and I'm like, yo, what time, the phones cut on or whatever. And they like, well, they cut on in about 10 minutes or whatever. And I was like, well, how do I get out? Do I get a special PIN code or whatever? Now, in the county jail, you are assigned a 4-digit PIN number or whatever. And I didn't have mine yet. And they told me, well, you until you get one, you can't get on the phone or whatever. Just ask one of these inmates to, let them use your phone or whatever. Well, for you to use their phone or whatever. So I pimped up on Andy, right? And then a black dude just walked off. I said, Andy, you got your PIN code? Do I get on the phone? He said, oh, yeah, I got you. So we get over there and I'm waiting for the phones to cut on. Boom, bam, the phones cut on. I get on the phone, I call my girl, right? So I'm letting her know what's going on and this and that. And, they did me dirty in the county, y'all. I guess my girl already knew that I was in the county, but they said they couldn't find me in the system. Right. So I called her and she was like, okay, you good and this and that. And she got the bond money and everything. But, y'all, this was a Saturday. You can't get, it was a Saturday. And I believe, you can get a bond, but they typically don't bond nobody out over the weekend, like on a Saturday evening or whatever. But they do, but they don't. But I knew for a fact that I wasn't getting out. The earliest I was going to get out was that Monday anyway, so I really wasn't tripping. So anyway, I'm talking blah, 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 and I see Andy pimp off. He say, I'm going to be right back. And he goes to the older black dude, right? And they go pimp off in the cell, right? In the black dude's cell. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe let me just mind my business. I don't know what's going on, right? So then I hear, there's this short white cat that's in front of me that's using the phone. And he telling this girl, like, man, it's wild up in here, man. It's wild in here, man. These dudes be in here effing. And, my ears, like, caught wind of what he said. And he like, yeah, man, this white boy from Cincinnati, him and this black dude be effing, man. He be, doing stuff with him for cigarettes, man. It's wild in here, right? When he said the white boy from Cincinnati, my heart dropped. When I say my heart dropped, I mean my heart dropped. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, this is white boy Andy who he's talking about. This is white boy Andy, what his other cat is talking about. Yeah, he in there messing with this black dude for cigarettes. And I'm like, yo, and then the thing about it, this dude is my cellie. This dude is my cellmate. So automatically, I'm like, man. And this is the first day, y'all. So I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, this ain't a good look. Not only this ain't no good look, this is my city. Imagine that. Oh, Donta was in the cell with this white dude that was tricking for cigarettes. Come on, man. What that look, man? The city would never let me live it down. So off the rip, I get off the phone with my girl and I tell her, like, look, babe, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back a little later, right? But I was in a dilemma, y'all, also because, I used to, back in them days, I used to feel like, what you do in your personal time is your business. And what I mean by that is pertaining to, homosexuality or whatever. But I grew to know fast that birds of a feather flock together. And I still believe in that. So when I realized, like, yo, homeboy, you know, these cats might be looking at me sideways because I'm in the cell with this dude. But at the same time, I'm using this dude's phone, whatever, you know, using his PIN code. So I'm in a dilemma myself because I don't know these dudes up in here, man. And I only know him. So I go pimp off to my cell and I'm sitting there in deep thought, right? And I'm like, okay, he can't be in here with me and I ain't going nowhere. So he gonna have to go. I mean, just off the basis that, you know, he here doing demonic, devious things up in here. So he got to go, right? But, you know, it ain't like I got any anger towards him or hatred towards him because he ain't do nothing to me. It's just the principle behind it. Like, you out here, you know, you tricking for cigarettes, and what that look like, you know, you out there doing something, you know, devilish, and then you come back in the cell with me. And come on, man, that's definitely ain't happening. That's all the way out, right? So I said, okay, yeah, this how this gonna go. So I just started packing up his stuff. You know, I got his blanket, got his commissary, got his toothbrush, got his cup, got his shower shoes, got his t-shirts, socks, and I rolled everything up and, you know, tied it up in a knot and set it by the door. Then I just, you know, laid down. So he comes back to the cell about 30 minutes later, right? He said, hey, Donta, what's going on? I said, look, homie, step in the cell right quick. Step all the way in the cell. I said, hey, man, you got to go. He like, what do you mean I got to go? I said, hey, listen, man, I know what you doing with that black dude. I heard about, you know, what you was doing for cigarettes, and yo, you can't be in the cell, homeboy. He was like, hey, man, Donta, I thought we was cool, bro. I said, nah, man, it ain't that. I mean, yeah, we cool on being cool out there in the real world, but in here, nah. He like, well, what's the problem? I mean, we not doing anything. I said, yo, look, check this out, man. I'm not really in the mood to be explaining this to you, but dog, you just gotta go. And he like, man, that's messed up, bro. That's messed up, bro. Like, why do I gotta leave for? I'm not doing it. I'm not causing any issues. So at this point now I'm getting irritated. But at the same time, you know, I'm feeling like, man, maybe I am being too harsh on him. But then our alternative thing is, you know, cats gonna be looking at me sideways. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I always tell y'all this all the time. Men gossip worse than women. You would think that men would keep it G, men would keep it solid, men wouldn't be in other men's business. That'd be the first thing these so-called prison dudes be saying, oh, when you get into this, mind your business, keep your head down and mind your business. No. That's the total opposite. Dudes always gossiping. Dudes always got other dudes' name in their mouth. If you see somebody walking with somebody that might look like they been out of shape, and y'all know what I mean, with them people, it's like it's always something going on. It's always rumors. It's always whispers. It's always somebody did this or somebody did that. And man, so me knowing these things, I just told him, hey, look, bro, I ain't gonna say it again. You cool or whatever, but dog, you cannot be in this cell with me. It's just not gonna happen. So he started talking about, but I'll let you use my PIN number to get on the phone. I said, okay, and I appreciate that. I said, listen, man, I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. You just gonna have to leave, right? Or I'm gonna do something to you. And he was like, what do you mean you're gonna do? Like, why are you taking this to that type of level? I said, listen, I don't get out the cell, man. Just leave. Just get out the cell. He was like, all right, bro, just chill. So he grabbed his knapsack or whatever where I put all his things in, and he left out, right? So I'm watching him. So he goes to the guard desk and tells them like, hey, you know, my cellmate and me were not getting along or whatever, and they asked him like, so what's going on? Did he threaten you? Like, what's going on? He said, no, he's not threatening me, but I know this guy from the street, and we had issues out there in the street, and I just don't feel safe in the cell with him. So the guard come up there, to do his due diligence, and he asked me like, is it a problem with y'all two or anything that I need to know about? I said, no, it ain't really no problem, but we had issues out in the free world, but that's just what that is. So he was like, all right, man, whatever. So he ended up letting him get a cell change. So the cell that he ended up going to was the black dude's cell, the older black dude, right? So about 3 days later, because ain't nothing really happened outside of that incident, but 3 days later, right? And I'm sorry, I had to put this out there, man. I don't know what's up with these. Never mind. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I apologize. I was about to say something foul, but I ain't gonna say it. But anyway, so another black dude ended up coming through or whatever, and I see them down there talking. The black dude that was with the white cat Andy or whatever, and I'm eavesdropping on a conversation, and I hear him tell him like, well, shoot, bruh, give me 3 packs. Give me 3 packs of Newports. You can have them. You can have them. And the black dude, I guess he realized that I was ear hustling. He lowered his tone, and they just walked off, right? So at this time, Andy was I think he was at the chapel at this time. So I pimped over there to the chapel, and I knocked on the door, and Andy came to the door. It was him and a couple other dudes there or whatever. And I said, hey, Andy, I'm just giving you the heads up, bro. Dude about to sell you for some cigarettes. And he was like, what you mean sell me? I said, the dude that you in the cell with, he talking about he about to sell you for 3 packs of cigarettes. So Andy, I would have thought that Andy would have looked worried. I would have thought that Andy, would have booked or something, and he just said, oh, okay, good looking out, and he closed the door. But the way that he said it concerned me, like he kind of already knew what time it was. So I just walk off, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So when I get back to the pod, because it's only maybe like 10 feet from the chapel to the pod that we was in, I see both of the black dudes mean mugging me, right? But they ain't saying that. You could tell when you walk in and you see people looking at you, but when you look their way, they look off. That's what they was doing, right? So I wasn't tripping. So I sat down and I was watching that Geographic Discovery Channel, whatever the channel. It was Shark Week, right? So I'm watching it, and Andy come in, right? So when I see Andy come in, both of the black dudes walk up on Andy, and they all 3 go into a cell, and then they leave out the cell, and then Andy have his stuff packed, and he goes into the cell with the other black dude. Now listen, I don't know what was going on in that cell. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see nothing. But I do know this. Later on that night, right? Later on that night, they did count. And when they do count, you have to, let the guard see you or be like, acknowledge that you in the cell or whatever. When they did count, when they got to Andy's cell with the first black dude, Andy was not in there. Andy's supposed to be in the cell with the first black dude, and he wasn't. So then they cut all the lights on and called the code, right? Tell me why, y'all. Tell me why Andy was unalived and he was stuffed under the other guy's cell. Under the other guy's bed. I don't know what the discrepancy was about. I don't know why that man took Andy to the upper room. But whatever happened in that cell between Andy and that black dude, Andy didn't stand a chance. Andy ended up going to the upper room. For what? I don't know. Some say that, they was in there getting high. And Andy, OD'd or whatever. Some say that dude wanted to, lay with Andy like a man lay with a woman. And I don't know. And he just took Andy's life. Whatever the case is, rest in peace to Andy. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Let me know where y'all from in the comment section.